Okay, this is the speaking test of International English Language Testing System and taking place at HEXA'S Ambarkhana. The examiner name is Ali Asam Adnan. Examiner ID is that 888005. Candidate name is that Basci. Candidate ID is that 777005. Good afternoon, ma'am. How are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm well, by the grace of Almighty Allah. So where do you live actually?
I'm originally from Sylhet, which is a northeastern city in Bangladesh, but I was born and brought up in Oman, where I've spent around 19 years of my life.
Okay, ma'am. So do you work or study?
No, I don't work. I'm an undergrad student currently pursuing my bachelor's in English literature at a prestigious university.
Okay, why you chose this subject?
Well, that's an interesting question. It was a very difficult and confusing path for me to choose which major I should do my bachelor's in. But at the end, I felt like I was more passionate in English literature, so I should go to that.
Okay, did you research a lot of things about English?
Yes, I did, because I was initially a science major student, so when it was a shift from one major to another, so I had to do some research.
Okay, so in the first part, I will ask you some personal question. So let's talk about of science. Do you think it's important to study science?
Yes, I believe that it's very important to pursue science as a course or major.
Why?
Because there are several scientific innovations and developments going on around us, so it's better to be aware of all those stuff.
Okay, so will you recommend the people for studying in the science?
Yes, I would recommend it, but I think it differs from person to person. Everyone has their own personal opinions and passions, so they should go to the majors that they're more interested in.
Okay, let's talk about of trust. Who do you trust the most?
I think I trust the most is my mother, because she's like my own best friend.
Okay.
She understands me better, so I can completely and blindly trust her.
Okay, what kind of people do you trust?
Well, that depends, because we are in an age where there are several kinds of people we meet in our daily lives. So it becomes very difficult to decide whom we trust, but then it's a personal intuition. It's a calling that we get from our inner voice that you need to trust this particular person or not.
Okay, so have you ever lost trust in somebody?
Yes, absolutely. I've lost trust in so many people that now I am kind of scared and have become a bit guarded when it comes to trust people.
Okay, so do you trust artificial intelligence?
Well, no, I can't say that I do, because I feel like artificial intelligence is very misleading at times, because they don't really provide us the accurate information that we're looking for. But if I'm speaking in the context of students these days, they rely too much on artificial intelligence that they forget that these informations are not really accurate.
Okay, ma'am, let's talk about of makeup. Do you often wear makeup?
No, I don't. I feel like the natural beauty is the most beautiful thing in the world.
Okay, do you give makeup as a gift?
No, not really. I don't have friends who like makeup, so I don't have to buy gift from them.
Okay, ma'am, that is the end of your part 1 question. Now I'm gonna give you a topic and I would like you to talk about for 1 or 2 minutes. Before you talk, you have 1 minute for think about this topic. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, ma'am, so your topic is that describe our traditional products in your country. So here is your note making paper, you may make the note in here, and here is your pencil, and here is your topic, and you have a 1 minute. Now I'm count your time, start to count your time. Okay, ma'am, your note making time is over. You may start to speak about this topic.
So a traditional product which I have tried in my country is tea, because I belong to the city of tea, which is Sylhet, as I have mentioned earlier. So I have tried this tea when I was very young. I can say that since my childhood, it's a traditional practice at our home to drink tea at least twice in day. Once in the morning with breakfast, and the other would be at any time during the evening with certain snacks. And it is a time. The tea is not actually a food item, it's an emotion, because our family members, we all sit together around the table and drink tea and talk about our day. So it is the time when we communicate with each other better. And it is actually, it's a food item, it's a drink which comes from the tea gardens of Sylhet in our country, and it comes from tea leaves actually. And how I feel about it would be, as I have mentioned, that it is a practice, a traditional practice in mostly South Asian countries to drink tea. They prefer tea to coffee because we have seen our grandparents, our parents drinking tea on a regular basis. It's mostly like a part of our mundane lives. So it's not only a food item, but it's an emotion associated in our household.
You have time, ma'am?
Well, if in Sylhet it's very famous, tea is very famous. People all around the world prefer tea from Sylhet. Mostly, if the relatives from other districts come to our home in Sylhet, our family members try to give them the best tea, because there are several flavors associated with tea. There are certain flavors, like we add a little ginger or cardamom to it to give a different flavor to the taste of the tea.
Okay, ma'am, that is the end of your participation. Will you back my booklet, pencil and paper, please? So that is the end of your participation. In the part 3, I will ask you some follow-up question which is related to the part 2. Are you ready for it?
Yes.
Okay, ma'am. So, why are traditional product important?
In my opinion, traditional product also reflects our cultural heritage. It preserves our culture of our country. So it has to be very close to our heart, because traditional products is often a reflection or an image of what we are as a person, or what our own country represents. For example, if I say about tea, which also represents the culture of Sylhet, because when a person from a different state or a different country comes to Sylhet, I think they prefer as a tourist to visit the tea gardens of Sylhet.
Okay, do you think tradition is important for a country? Why?
Yes, I absolutely believe that tradition is a very important aspect of any country, because tradition, again, it just represents the person that you are, the cultural heritage, the bonding among people, the community. It is closely associated with everything, with every human being living and residing in that particular country.
What are the traditional Bangladeshi products you do like most, except the tea?
Okay, so the traditional could be, I'm a foodie person, so I would say that there are several cuisines in Bangladesh which it is popular for. Let it be the biryanis, or let it be the other kind of pita, which is a winter food actually. Now since it's winter, in every household, mostly in rural areas, there is a traditional practice or ritual that they cook different kinds of pita and serve their home family members.
Okay, why is it important for children to learn about traditional products?
Yes, in my opinion, that as I said, a tradition of a country keeps you very close to the country. For example, when I was in Oman, my parents made sure that I was made well aware of all the traditions in Bangladesh, because it just represents my identity, my nationality. So they have made sure that I was told about all the rituals and the practices going on, all the traditional festivals occurring in Bangladesh from every season.
In your countries, people are concerned or not to keep their tradition?
Of course, they are very concerned about the traditional practices. They work very tremendously in preserving all the traditions. Like for example, all the national days, let it be like Pita Ushab in winter season, and there are several other things like Pohela Boishakh. They really work and put efforts into preserving, into keeping their identity intact when it comes to tradition.
Which traditional festival they enjoyed most?
In my opinion, it would be Pohela Boishakh, which is the first month of the Bengali calendar, and people all around the country dress up in red and white, and they go to Boishakhi Mela, which is a festival. And they also enjoy different kinds of food, cuisines celebrated in Bangladesh, and also the different kinds of folk dance, folk
So do
music.
you think cloth can represent the tradition of a country?
Yes, in Bangladesh context, yes, of course, it can represent tradition, because in our country, mostly women wear sari and like salwar kameez, but men often prefer to wear, which is a most common and unique outfit of Bangladesh, which would be lungi for men. This also preserves our identity as a Bangladeshi.
Okay, ma'am, this is the end of your part 3 questions, and that is the end of your speaking test.
Thank you.